fridge, my cup of tea, and it's time to tell you about the universe and the world that we perceive to live in. Okay, this is what's happened. We live in a data place. If you go into all matrix things, it's more than that. It's far more than that. But there's a reason why musicians, filmmakers, creative, intuitive people are influenced in the way that they are, because our construct is like an aerial, right? And we pick up the signals, not just like, it's very different, but technology. Our technology is on the inside. We call it a skeleton. So your brain picks up all these signals, perceive. I'm not going into that too much. What I am going to do is give you some big answers, right? So the world's made up of layers. They tell us about atmosphere, and we've been sort of hoodwinked a little bit, a lot actually, under the guise of learning and education, which is, I spent over a decade working with education to try and have a positive influence, and only in the last few years did I realise that I can read the code. Well, I realised that I've always been able to read the code. I just only consciously perceived it. And I might go into conscious, subconscious, and how we live in the moment. But I'm trying not to make it too long a video. It's made up in layers, right? We're told that this is the sun, and then these planets, right? And they orbit sun, like that. Alright? Well, the thing is, to trick people, you just change things a little bit. You take the truth and you alter it slightly. Alright? And what's happened here is you need to tilt it. Right? This is how we see, or how we're told, the universe is more of an oval shape, but it's not, right? It's a record. And all of what we call stars, right, are the grooves and the patterns. And you know the little music turning, it's got little metal pins on, and when you turn it, ping, 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 ping. It's like that. Data. Now, the layers, right, previous layers, atmosphere, right, we've been tricked by science and maths, right? So I'm making a cup of tea. And since the Queen and some religious groups made the education system 200 years ago and Ofsteded it straight away because they wanted people to learn, to take them down a particular path. And this is why we've been tricked, is just to make society more manageable. And then as technology has increased, right, as technology has increased, right, because you have to, I'm not going to go into the other side, right, that's where you've got the death, and it's not That's the thing. It's like a pendulum, right? So you say this is your first life, right? And it goes like that, right? This is the perceived future. This is the perceived past, right? And so these other yous that has been in the past and will be in the perceived future. Because you know, like on a film, when you're watching a film, you've got the timeline, right? And on the timeline, this is the start of the film. This is the end of the film, right? And you can jump to any particular point, but at that particular point, the characters in the film don't know that that's the past, and that's it. They're just moving along the film. Whereas you, because you've got the remote, you've got the control, right, and you know how it works, you can jump to any point in the film. So you've got to know how to work out the control within this. And one of the things that we've been tricked with is time. The perception of time. Time is not time, time's a data stamp, right? Depending on how you view time, you can view where you are. There's more to come on that. I've got so many answers, right? But it's got to be useful. This is one of the things of why people have problems, because it's all right having all of this data and knowing all these answers, but what are you actually going to use it for? Well, there's the sun, right? Because that's actually the centre of the Earth, right? You know, on an overhead projector, and they use the clear plastic sheets. It's a bit like that. And each layer, right, as the light shines on it, they have different things. So on one you might have people, right, on the other you might have trees and nature, the others buildings, the others, and as the layers, because some people or some don't perceive, we don't speak the same languages, we don't see the same things, and that depends on where you're from. The reason that we are, this one's Earth, right, third layer from the centre, right, of the Earth, and you have to, you can do it that way, but you can turn it this way, so there's the centre of the Earth, right, and there's Earth, you see how thermometer time, right, so these are the planets, there's the centre of the Earth, and there's the crust, right, these are the different layers of the atmosphere. These are the layers underneath us, and this is what mining, and this is where the big thing was mining, to find the tech, the sort of alien tech that came from the original star children. And that's why it's called Middle Earth, right? You can go into Dante's 7 layers of hell, right? 2 layers of heaven, right? It's all there, right? But this is the right temperature for the majority of biological organisms, and that's why it's called the Goldilocks spot, right? Not too hot, not too cold, right? That's why heat rises and why snow comes down, the G spot. Right. So you can find out where you're from, because we're all trying to force us, all of these different layers of these, trying to force us into a bottleneck, like herding cattle, right, to make it more manageable, like farm. But the firmament is an anagram of the mint farm, right, the echo mint farm. E for echo. The codes are hidden in plain sight, but you have to piece them together, right? Yeah, and it will piss them off, really, but you know, we've got to the point where we need to understand this, because there are those that are on the way to this level, and we need to work on our own behaviour, and we're being distracted a lot by emotional, by the fire, the pH balance, the pyro and the hydro, right? But you can find out, like, this is where spirit animals and your spirit energy and all of the different perceptions and the zodiacs, and because they've all been separated to make a subject of them, to divide and conquer, right? To divide the knowledge up so you can't understand it all, the all-seeing eye, right? Eye, right? Because what they want to do is take all of these different subjects, and this is where education sort of comes in. And I'm a lifelong learner, you know, and a big supporter of doing things the right way, but not to the point of controlling people and making subjects of them and suffering, because this is a population, and what they do is go through the education system, and then they want higher education, and then they want, you know, universities and masters. That's why they take the names really of the old, and they want to then cut off, take the top, put them into a particular purpose, and everybody else is left sort of, what do I do with my life, right? And that's where this management system sort of comes in. It's not fair. You want to find out what level you're from, and you know when people say, "Oh, I really get on with you. You're right. You're on my level. We're connected." It's probably because you're from the same or similar places. So what you do, your date of birth, because it's sort of where your name, your date of birth, where you were born. It's all data to be understood to find your place, right? So your date of birth, let's say for instance, I'm not going to put my date of birth on here, but you know, go on, I'll use my honesty, 7 for 1976. Right, this is a mathematical thing, because this is why maths has found out some answers, and some people have seen some patterns, and then they've used it for their own purpose, to have their own agenda, to have their own age, and this is what all the technology and uploading to the clouds, right? That's what happened previously, and it didn't work, which is why when we get Q, it's going around in circles, right? Keep coming back to the same point. Whereas actually, if you tilt that, what you'll actually find is that these are the layers, but they're connected, right? And it's like a coil, like a spring, but viewed from the top, it keeps going round and round and round. and this is calendars and the data and numbers. So there, find out where you're from, right? Again, the planets from the sun, count them, find out where you're from. So you can do this a couple of different ways. Add all of the digits up. So we do this 7, 4, 11, 12, 21, 28, 34, right? So 34, 3 add 4 is 7, okay? I'm a 7, but Jamie is a 7, right? Tesla were a 7, Einstein were a 7, 5's a good balance as well, right? The clever thing is, if you add them up singular digits, it works out the same number as if you add them 7, add 4, add 1,976. So 1,976 add 4 is 1,980. 1,987. 1 and 9 is 10, 18, 25, 25, 2 add 5 is 7. So you find your number, you find where you're from. Also, this is good for finding your other half, right? It's part of the algorithms that you use in dating sites, and but yeah, so you find what number you are, and you find what match you are as well. From the same place, they add up to a particular number, right? I'll maybe go into that another time because I'm nearly on 20 minutes of time now. But yeah, this is very useful because there's different behaviours, and also because they do tell you the accurate data, they just put it in a different format. So the further away you are from the sun or the planet, time travels, the different daytime. So on Mars, you know, there's a different length of day. So this is why some people stay up for ages, you know, and at night time they're like, you know, because where they're from, it's different day length. It's why people have different temperaments. It's how your chemical, biological, mental pathways, right? And this is what it's about. It's about finding your own path. We're sort of being forced down one particular path. We've got to understand the data and appreciate it for the different layers that it is. You know, people say, oh, you've got to treat everybody the same. Well, why? Because we're not all the same. There's a lot of, you know, colour, gender. It's the wrong focus, right? When you were here last time,